Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures. And yeah, I'm back once more with another Dire Chasm Warhammer Underworlds warband. Today, shock of shocks to nobody at all, we have the Starblood Stalkers, which are just a bunch of lizards with pointy sticks and thermal detonators. What's not to like, right? Plus chameleons. So a nice varied warband in terms of amount of models and what we've got. We've got 6 people here. We've got a couple of skinks. We've got the one Saurus, and we've got, or there is Mr. Chameleon here blending in with everybody else. And without further ado, I'm going to unceremoniously rip this package apart, and we'll see what kind of nice goodies are waiting for us inside. You know what's sad is having done so many of these videos and trying to rip and tear until it is done off camera to get these stupid boxes open, I realized I've got an X-Acto knife right off screen. Smart. SMRT. Sprue number 1. Sprue number 2. Okay. A random, I don't know why Kixitaka is all by his lonesome there, whereas the rest of the cards are all shrink wrapped with the instructions. That's odd. Okay, I can't recall that happening before, but then again, with all of the craziness that's been happening with distribution with GW lately, I can't say I'm really even surprised at this point. So why don't we take a look at what we got here. Okay, Saurus Warrior, giving me a very Blood Bowl vibe. Unfortunately, he's very crouched low. I was hoping we'd have one who was standing more upright, but it is what it is. Shiny parts, thermal detonator. So 1 plus, if you want to call it a plus, I would call it a plus, for the Warhammer Underworlds stuff when they're actually in focus like that, is that everything is push fit. If you don't like the push fit, well, you know what you can do? Clip them all off and then just glue it to your heart's content anyways. Me personally, I don't mind it. Okay, I'm guessing this is a 32mm base for the Saurus. Maybe our Chameleon's base, I'm not sure. I think he has a rocky outcropping to perch on. Lots of thin little parts this time around. Be aware. If that is an issue for you, well, may I suggest you go build a few Malifaux and Kingdom Death models to work those kinks out of your system to handle this stuff. Yeah. You know, it helps when we can see what the details are. I gotta say, I do like his big poofy cheeks there. Overall, I'm really digging the look. I like these modern skinks. At least we've seen modern skinks with a few of the larger dino kits. I like he's got his frill extended there. It's not something we see that often. But yeah, I'd be very cautious with those blowguns when removing from the sprue. What's up with this guy's head? I want to find it. And I don't know where it is. There's his arm. There's his body. That's the Saurus's head right here. That's my dog barking outside at nothing. I don't know where the priest's head is. All right. Well, give me a moment. We'll put it all together, and we'll see how they stack up to, number 1, some other Saurus models I've got laying around, and some other Warhammer Underworlds models as well. 1 second, please. Okay, we got our Starblood Stalkers all put together here. Taking a look at one of our skinks, and I gotta say, I'm digging the poses. The skink kit was actually the very first Warhammer kit that I bought when I came back to the tabletop fold. It was many years ago, and I don't know if I even painted the entire thing. I probably swapped them, traded them off, but I'm digging this dude. Maybe once he's painted, I'll dig out some of the other painted skinks I've still got laying around. That'd be kind of cool. A more typically posed warrior. Unfortunately, he's not touching the base completely, but that's not a big deal. Our blowgun equipped friend. At least from a warband standpoint, I think there's a lot of variety in these guys. We also have the mage with his thermal detonator and plenty of feathers. I think one of the highlights, the chameleon. The chameleons from the Lost Kingdom are one of my biggest regrets that I didn't get. But at least I've got this guy now. And to me, the standout of the bunch, the Saurus Warrior. I don't dig his pose. I feel like he's a little too hunched over for my taste. I'd rather he was a little bit more upright. But looking at the Blood Bowl model, they're actually in quite similar poses with their tails and their bodies, which makes me wonder if they used the files from one to make the other. It's possible. Of course, he is glue together, whereas this guy is push fit. I think he bodes well for the Saurus in Warhammer. I just got these Last Sword resin Sauruses in the mail, and I gotta say, they stack up pretty nicely. Funny thing is, these actually were sculpted before this guy was actually released, but due to COVID, I just now barely got them. I can give you guys a link if you're really curious about those. They're kind of funky material. But I'm happy for these guys to exist. And funny enough, even though my son said, oh yeah, I'll play if you get all the goblins painted, which I have, I might add. Not only do I have Mollog's Mob, not only do I have the Snotbag, Snigget, Grigget, whatever they're called, with the Mushroom Chewer and the Squigs and everything, but I got the Wolf Riders too. And if GW models were ever available in a store again, I'd probably pick up the new Orcs as well, and the Crimson Court. But nope. Thank you, Distribution, and thank you, Scalpers, for yanking everything off of the shelves before the rest of us even have a chance. Overall, I gotta say, I like the makeup of this warband. It just bums me out that this is the closest thing to new Seraphon / Lizardmen models that we're probably going to see for some time. Yeah, I know there's a new Lord Croak. I'll talk about Croak in another day. I was in the mood to print up some proxy old ones, and we'll see those at another time. But anyway, I think if you're going to stick to the Games Workshop environment playground area of the tabletop world, I don't think you can go very wrong with these, considering the small price hike that we've seen with the warbands. I'd still say it's a pretty decent value. You do get quite a few models, actually, as you can see. We have a bit of variety here as well. Obviously, our priest, you could probably go ahead and get him in as an actual hero unit if you didn't want to use them as a unique unit themselves. Count this guy as a Saurus Old Blood or a Scar Veteran or whatever they're called these days. Space Lizards, I don't know. This guy's going to need some company. Looking at these just also reminds me that, man, I really wish we would see some new smaller dinos like the Razordons or the Salamanders in plastic. If ever there was a set of figures that really needed a new release that in non-Finecast, it would be those guys. In case you're curious how he stacks up, he is significantly bigger. And that's with my flashy, poorly converted Saurus here, lining up their bases. He is a little bit off of the base, but just the bulk. And that was the thing. I remember reading the novel, one of those early Age of Sigmar novels, where they're on the giant worm with the city on its back and the Skaven infestation. And they always talked about how large and looming the lizardmen were in comparison to the average human. So it is nice to see the Saurus actually live up to that. I don't know if they actually do on the table. That's always a hotly debated question. Be curious how they look with some actual human models nearby. Yeah, it's about how I expect a lizard man to appear with humans. Do we have any normal humans from GW that are a bit more modern? We got a Hedonite, but she's on a pillar, so I don't know if that really counts. And a Mortek guard, or whatever they're called. I always thought these guys are kind of shrimpy. So you can see, at least our Saurus friend here has some impressive size to him. He's going to look pretty cool on the table once all painted. In fact, I think of all the warbands, these guys probably are going to be really flashy. You have a lot of opportunities for different colors with all the feathers and various regalia that they've got hanging on to their gear. So looking forward to them, looking forward to actually getting them painted, and looking forward to hopefully seeing even more Seraphon lizard folk in the near future. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.